In the history of this world, we know many great leaders, conquerors, and most powerful one. Let's just say Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, Tamerlane, Attila the Hun, Charlemagne, Pharaoh Thutmose, Rahman III of Egypt, Ashoka the Great, Cyrus the Great. But no one does it just like Genghis Khan. Before starting the video, I want to say thank you to those of you who clicked on this video. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started. In a steppe region in Asia, a child named Temujin was born. He was born in 1162. His father was a Mongol chief of the Borjigin clan named Yesujay, and his mother was Holun. Holun is Yesujay's kidnapped second wife. The practice of kidnapping wives used to often occur in nomadic tribes, such as the Mongols. The area at the time was sort of like America's Wild West, but much worse. Just surviving is difficult, and the struggle for resources means the nomadic tribes in the area don't get along. Temujin's youth was passed with many difficulties. He never learned to read or write, working very hard to survive. Before he was 10 years old, his father was poisoned to death by an enemy clan. Hearing the news, Temujin immediately returned to his clan to claim leadership. As it turned out, the Temujin clan rejected his claim and expelled his family. Temujin, with his mother and 6 siblings, was forced to live a miserable life. They are forced to eat roots and fish, while a nomad usually consumes lamb and horse milk. In fact, Temujin killed his half-brother named Bektar for fighting over food. Shortly thereafter, Temujin killed his older half-brother and took over as head of a poverty-stricken household. At one point, he was captured and enslaved by the clan that had abandoned him, but he was finally able to escape. In 1178, Temujin married Bort, who bore him 4 sons and an unknown number of daughters. He immediately began forming alliances, establishing a reputation as a warrior and attracting more and more followers. Most of what we know about Genghis Khan's childhood comes from The Secret History of the Mongols, the oldest known work of Mongolian history and literature, written soon after his death. The unity of the Mongols was always broken by tribal rivalries. Then came Temujin, who was approaching the age of 30, ruling over half the Mongol clans. With nomadic tribes united in Mongolia in 1206, Genghis Khan's armies set out to conquer the surrounding nations. The success of this conquest was influenced by his ability to adapt to the circumstances. Initially, the Mongol army consisted only of cavalry, riding on powerful Mongol horses. Against the troops on the ground, the Mongols were invincible. The Mongol army traveled without supply carts other than a large horse reserve. This meant that the Mongol army had high mobility. The Mongol army consisted almost entirely of cavalry. They could control the direction of movement of the horse only with their feet, so they could use both hands to use bows and arrows. But to conquer a city of horsemen alone is not enough. Genghis Khan implemented tactics such as using the engineers he had caught to create city siege equipment, such as mangonels, catapults, ladders, fuel oil, and so on. In addition, the inhabitants of the city who fought against the Mongols were placed at the very front of the battle, used as a human shield. Although this Mongol conquest reached Europe, Genghis Khan himself did not participate in all the military campaigns he carried out. Genghis Khan united the various Mongol tribes and organized them into a powerful military machine. Tribal ties turned into regimental forces that demanded loyalty to the commander. Switching regiments was punishable by death. Disobedient commanders can be fired. Genghis Khan himself formed an elite bodyguard consisting of 10,000 men. The unit included the sons of the commanders. It's ingenious and very original. Before a commander thinks of disloyalty, he will remember his son is the prisoner of the Khan. That betrayal will involve both, in other words, personal loyalty replaced tribal ties. In this regard, Genghis Khan was building a new, more sustainable social network. The series of expeditions beyond the borders was originally a tradition. For example, the invasion of China was part of a tradition that was passed down by Mongol leaders from generation to generation. In order to achieve this goal, tribal unity is a prerequisite. This in turn provided justification for the pursuit of the opposing tribal chief. Even if he fled to a faraway land like Kuchlug, a descendant of the family led by the Nayman tribe, who fled to Kara Kidai in Central Asia with the few remaining soldiers. Genghis Khan died in 1227. The cause of his death is unknown. It is thought he fell from a horse while hunting and died from injuries. Genghis Khan's tomb is kept secret and has not been found. According to legend, funeral guards killed anyone they came across to hide the location of the tomb. After Genghis Khan's death, the Mongol Empire was basically divided into 4 khanates or kingdoms, namely the Yuan dynasty, China, Ilkhanate, Persia, Chagatai Khanate, Central Asia, and Golden Horde, Russia. Each of these kingdoms, ruled by the descendants of Genghis Khan, has its own interests and enemies. It was this discord and division that became one of the causes of the collapse of the Mongol Empire. In the end, the territories of the Ilkhanate and Chagatai Khanate were taken over by the founder of the Timurid Empire, while in China itself, the Yuan dynasty was defeated by the Ming dynasty. The ruler of the dynasty then took revenge by destroying the capital of the Mongol Empire and its treasures. That's a short video about Genghis Khan, the man who almost conquered the world. If there is a mistake, please correct it in the comments section, and thank you for watching.